Hey, good evening. Hey, hello. How is everyone? What's going on? I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, and it is Thursday, 6:30. So we're going to just wait a few minutes and let people come on in. Move this table back. Good evening, everybody. Hello. It is 6:30. So those who know me know that I like to start my lives and my sessions on time. Good evening. Hey Sandy. How is everything? What's going on? Yeah, I got my notes. I got my my notes that I wrote down, and I've been really thinking about this and really getting some good information, talking about the 8 levels of love, and want to just discuss it for a few minutes on tonight. I'm not going to be here that long. I will tell you that. I'm not going to, and I always say that, but then I end up being on here for like 20, 30 minutes. But it is all good. We are still going to be on here. And so, yeah, we're going to be here for a few minutes, just a few minutes. All right. Okay, so it is 6:31, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started. For those that come in late, they can actually watch the replay and watch it later on. It will definitely be on my YouTube channel, and it's going to be on my Facebook Live, on my Facebook page, so you can go back and watch the replay if you didn't catch the beginning of it. So I am Lewana Michelle, or also known as, Lewana Harris. That is my name. But I want to just come on this evening and talk a little bit about the 8 levels of love. So just a little bit about me. I am actually an inspirational speaker. I'm also in ministry. I am a life and business strategist. So I help people kind of go from their life of chaos and mind of chaos into what it is that their true purpose. And so I help people guide people through that. I have a master's in human relations, so I have studied humans. I have studied conflict resolution, leadership development, organizational leadership development, crisis training, emotional intelligence, all of these things that deal with how humans and how we all relate to each other, and how we can actually have a positive impact on better on our relationships. And so those are the things that I'm really interested in, why people do what they do. So when we think about these different areas, love is a huge part of how we connect with other people and why we are, connecting in certain ways. And so when we think about these different levels of love, or different levels of just how we connect, this is truly important, because when you understand this, it is you have a deeper consciousness of how it impacts you and how it impacts your relationship with your relationships. It also, you understand, and we understand that we cannot, and none of us can do life alone. So if you think about just even in the scripture, it talks about, it's not good for man to be alone, even though God was talking about in the word, he was talking about man, and that's why he created Eve. But even if you think about that, it's not good for people to do life alone. That's one of the ways that the enemy gets you in a place of isolation, where you won't connect with other people. You won't, you just won't minister to other people. You won't, you won't connect with other people. And there's power in connection, y'all. So that's why it's truly important to make sure that we're connecting at the right way with the right people at the right time and in the right seasons. And so when we're offering that love, I'm going to talk about these different levels of love, because it's really easy to cross those lines, and that's where the frustration comes in. That's where the heartache comes in. And if I would have known a lot of things that I know now about relationships and about people, if I would have known that years ago, it would have saved me a whole lot of heartache and pain and frustration and heartbreak. But I'm so glad that I've gone through some of those situations in order for me to be the person and be the woman that I am now. So I'm so thankful and grateful for all of those situations. So we're just going to go right into it. I want you to take notes. And I was going to see if I can actually have somebody on here with me. I'm not sure if I can do that on here because I don't see the little button for it. But if not, I still want you to write your comments. I still want you to ask your questions. I am a very interactive person in training and virtual training. So if you have a question, definitely throw it out there and we're going to try to get your questions answered. All right, let's start. So 8 levels of love. I already told you why it's important to do that. Important for human connection. So the first one, and this is not in any particular order, but the first one that we are going to talk about is Eros. And I'm not Greek. And this comes from the Greek language. And so if I pronounce these wrong, talk to me about it later on. But I am going to pronounce these as well and as I can. But again, it's called Eros. And the Eros, Eros, that is that romantic love. That is the passionate love that you have for someone. That is that physical love, that the sexual passion that we have for someone. And that is the Eros, Eros. And this is it's sometimes, if it's not managed correctly, it can definitely be dangerous. Okay. This is where, if you're not operating correctly in this particular type of love, you can, it can overtake you. It can cause a lot of issues in regards to dealing with the wrong people. Of course, this is with your spouse. This is something that you are supposed to do experience with your spouse. So this is that passionate type of love that is really, really those heart love feelings, those sexual feelings. That sometimes now it can also, if you have that, let's say for example, you meet somebody and you have that passionate love for someone, that Eros type of love, it can also burn out very quickly. So if there's no foundation, if there is no nothing else outside of that, if that's nothing else that is connected to that, it will burn just like that and it will go away. So you cannot build relationships strictly on this romantic type of love because it's only temporary. It is that physical love, it's that sexual love, it's that feeling of that pleasure that you just say, you know what, I need to get this taken care of right now. And if you operate your relationships out of that, that is not a strong foundation to begin a relationship. So number one is the Eros. And then the second one is the Philia or the affectionate love. This is Philia, the Philia type of love, the love you feel for friends, the love you, it's more so of that platonic relationship. There's no sex involved. There's no sexual feelings involved. This is where, between people, you're friends, you're connected, you have common goals, you have common mindsets. And this is where that is important when you are dealing with, let's say, people in business or people that there's no physical attraction. These particular relationships are sometimes among teammates or among, really close friends. You may have gone to, school with somebody. So this is really a close friend of yours. And this is important because when you are a friend of somebody, you want that love, you want to be able to support, and you want to be able to say, this is my friend, and I love you like that. There's nothing. I want to be able to say that to someone that is truly your friend. And so the Eros is the first one, and then the second one is that Philia type of love. And so the third one is storge. It's STORGE. And this is that familiar love. This is that family love that you have. And sometimes this is the relationship with your family. This is sometimes also described as the relationship between a parent and a child, or a child with with their mother. And so this is your kinship. This is your family type of love. Um, this is something that is, you have your family. We always say, man, I love my family. I love my family. Well, that's that type of love. That is the kinship, the connectedness. You may have, grown up, but this is your family. All right. Okay. So we have number one is the Eros. We have number two was the Philia type of love, and that affectionate love. And then we have the storge, which is that familiar love, that affection that flows sometimes between parents and child and your parent. Then we have number four, which is ludus, which is Ludus. And this is, I would call it's called playful love, but I would call it like, this is that puppet type of love, right? This is the it's not the Eros, but it's that those butterflies that you feel when you meet somebody, or when you are, you're younger and you feel those butterflies before, and you've been like, oh, I really like them. And it's just kind of, the flirtatious, the kind of teasing. You see that sometimes in elementary school kids, when they, the little boys used to go and they used to run and hit the little girls and all of that, used to run away. That's that type of love. And it is just, it is such a sweet type of love that is, that's really sweet. And it's called ludus. And it's that, the flirtatious type of love. This is, that feeling of sometimes it even, and I've read that it's even kind of feel like you're kind of high. You get the same feeling of being high when you're on this. So you on this particular type of love. So when you're feeling this particular type of love, you're feeling it's like exciting. You feeling those butterflies. You're feeling like, oh my gosh, it's really good. But again, just like Eros, this particular love, you cannot build a relation, or it's not smart to build a relationship on this type of love, because this is something that can also just kind of fade away. Because sometimes when you're in relationships, y'all, those butterflies will go away. If anybody that's married out there, or anybody that has been in relationships or been married or been in relationships for a very long time, I just want to see, do you have butterflies 24 hours of the day? Please tell me if you have 24 hours of the day where you are having butterflies, or you're feeling butterflies for the person that you're in a relationship with or whatever. Because if you do, I need you to tell me what it is that you're doing, so I can make sure that I do that, when I get in the future. But it's those butterflies, it's that feeling of infatuation. And sometimes, again, people build relationships on that. And that's not something that is smart to do, because, again, that is not a strong foundation. That's not something that is going to last a long time. Now, am I saying that when you are in a relationship that you'll never feel those butterflies, even if you've been together 10 to 15 years? No, I'm not saying that. However, that's not smart to build a relationship just on that alone. So it's really important to decide and to really understand these different levels of love, so you can build the right relationships with the right people. So number five, and this is a serious one. So this is sometimes even though it's a false sense of love, it's still a level of love, and it's called mania. And if you think about it, it's Mania. So if you think about maniac, or you think about the word maniac, this is, where that would come from, mania. So this is a love that leads a partner, or leads somebody into obsessiveness. This is that obsessive type of love that can really be unhealthy. This is huge, because if it's not managed, it will cause people to become jealous. It will cause people to become, very abusive. This is something that will turn into anger, can turn into madness, can turn into something that is very, very unhealthy. This can also cause codependency. So when you are in this type of relationship, the person that is operating out of this particular type of love is literally trying to feel something, or trying to depend on the other person to feel, FILL, to fill a void that they have. There's low self-esteem. There is low self-confidence. There may be some wounds that have not healed. There's been some hurt, some pain. And so the person that is operating out of this particular level of love, to them that's love. To us, to people that are receiving it, it's very unhealthy. But to them, that's how they operate out of love, and that's what they're showing. And they can definitely become possessive. And so, again, this is something that is very unhealthy, because it causes a codependency. When we're talking about love and talking about wounds and talking about things that we're supposed to that's supposed to fill those voids, God is supposed to fill those voids. God's love is supposed to fill those voids. And so when you're trying to connect with somebody else to fill a void that only God can fill, then that is going to cause some issues and cause frustration and cause hurt and cause pains that really don't need to be there. So again, this is that unhealthy type of love that is not, that can definitely lead to codependency. Okay. All right. So number 6, this is the Pragma, or the Pragma. This is that enduring love. And so this is another one of those sweet loves that, as I was reading this, I was like, this is just really sweet. And so when you think of the Pragma love, what came to mind, or what was shown was, or what was talked about, was the love that it gave an example of when you have an older couple that have been together. They've been together for years and years, and now they may have been together for 50 some years, but they are experiencing, they are displaying a level of love that is so beautiful. That's that endurance type of love. They have endured so much that it is beyond sexual. It's beyond the puppy love. It's so, it's beyond those particular type levels of love. And it's that enduring love where they have endured so many things together that now their love is so powerful that it has definitely formed over time. And this is what they call a unique type of harmony that is only created over time. I don't think that you can have this particular type of love when you meet somebody, or you've been, with somebody for 2 months, or you've been with someone for maybe 6 months. This is the type of the deep love that is very real. It's very real. This is where, like I said, you have gone through the storm. You have gone through the rain. You have gone through just, sickness. You've gone through, when we talk about for better or for worse, this is what that enduring love looks like. So if you've ever been around a couple that's been married, whenever I see couples that are older, I tend to ask them, like, how long have you guys been together? And they'll say, sometimes 60 years. And that love is so, so, so beautiful. And that is something that can also occur with friends. So it's not just a romantic relationship, but this can also be with friends as well. So if you've had relationships with a best friend that you've known, my girlfriend on here, her name is Valerie. I've known her since 2nd grade. And so we may not talk every day, but when we get together, this is a love that that it has expanded and has just definitely, just endured over time. We've gone through births, we've gone through deaths, we've gone through childhood situations, we've gone through adult situations. And so I've literally known her since 2nd grade. And so if relationships, like I said, we may not talk every day, but we know that there is an enduring love that we have for each other. And so I can definitely appreciate that. And when you have found those friends, you definitely want to keep them. You want to hold on to them. And that this is that enduring, that long-term type of love. All right. So number 7 is that, now I may not say this one right, but I'm going to try it. So this is, I will say, Philia love. And this is Philautia. And this is that self love. This is one of the most important levels of love to have, because you can't give what you don't have. You cannot give anybody else what you don't have. And so in order to care and to love for other people, you have to love yourself. You have to make sure that you have this type of love that is that's very healthy. Not saying it's not vain. It's not the self-obsession is not being so focused on you that you can't focus on anybody else. It's not focused on personal fame. It's not focused on that fortune. But this is a healthy type of love that over time, or because of whatever reason, because you've worked on yourself, because you have learned how, and you know developed yourself, you have gone maybe to counseling, you have gone to certain things, you have literally learned how to love yourself genuinely. Because when you do that, your relationships, and you'll hear me say this all the time, that this will help you to serve other people. This will help you when you have that selfless kind of love, that love that you have for yourself. It is easier to love other people. It is so it's easy. And I say that you want to serve and you want to love out of your saucer. When you think of a cup or you think of a mug, it sits on a saucer. You don't want to serve, or you can't serve out of an empty cup. So if you don't have anything in your cup, then you can't serve. You can't love other people. You can't love the way and give the love that you would like to give until you first love yourself. And that also comes through knowing who you are in God, and knowing what he has called you to do, and knowing your purpose, and knowing that, he loves you beyond your flaws, and he loves you beyond where you are and where you've been and where you are at the current moment. And so when you look at and you feel that particular love, then it helps you to love yourself even more. When you've accepted who you are, when you've accepted, my hair just may be short, or my hair is going to be long, or you know what, I may have, this particular body shape or whatever. But you have really learned to accept who you are, and you've really learned to accept who God has made you to be, and made you to be. And there's strength in that, y'all. When you look at the love that you have for yourself, that's so much strength in that. And it's so, when I tell you, it is so freeing to love and truly, genuinely love who you are, because at some point you'll say, you know what, other people's opinion of you don't matter to the point where now it's causing you to make you feel a certain way, or have low self-esteem or low confidence about yourself. I will say that, some people's opinion matters. It does, but to a certain extent. So you really want to balance that out. But again, if you don't love yourself genuinely, then you can't love anybody else, and you can't serve out of an empty cup. So that's number 7. And then the final level of love, of course, is something that we've all heard, is that agape type of love. The agape type of love is the highest level of love, that is that total unconditional love that says, you know what, regardless of what you've done, regardless of who you are, it's that total genuine forgiveness. It's the type of love that has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with physical connection. It has nothing to do with how someone looks. It has nothing to do with what they've done for you. This is an unconditional type of love that comes out of just your pure heart. This is the type of love that God definitely has for us, that agape love. So regardless of what we've done, regardless of where we've been, regardless of what, any of that, there is nothing that will separate the love that he has for us. And so that is that agape type of love. And when we have really looked at that and really accepted that, then again, that's easier to love other people as well. So really accepting the unconditional love of God, and really heading toward or even trying to get to the level of unconditional love. And a lot of times we want to say that, yes, I love you unconditionally, but at the same time, we are human. And there are some times when you are like, you know what, I don't know if I love this person right now. So I don't know. I need to think about that. And so we can grow into that. We can grow into the agape love. It is possible to love someone unconditionally. Now, there is a balance to that as well. So if you feel like, you are in a position where, this person is doing something or is hurting you, you can also love people from afar. You can love people while they're over there. So just because you love them unconditionally doesn't mean that you always have to connect with them. You always have to be around them. You always have to allow them to misuse you or mistreat you or cause you to feel some type of way about yourself. That's not it. That's not a healthy relationship. You can love people from afar because some people don't know how to love. Some people don't, or they have a different, not necessarily wrong, but a different idea about what love is. And so when you understand these different levels of love, it will help you with your relationships, whether it's male, female, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a business relationship. When you understand these relationships and understand how where you are at the particular moment, then it allows you to consciously think about, maybe I need to make some changes in how I'm operating in this particular level of love. If you're operating in the mania type of love where you are just being obsessive, then maybe you need to step back and just say, you know what, am I operating in that type of love? And why am I doing that? Why am I operating that way? And so understanding these will definitely help positively impact your relationships. So I just wanted to throw those out there. I told you I'm not going to be on here a long time, but definitely appreciate you all for joining me this evening, because you can definitely be anywhere else but watching me on here. I definitely appreciate it. I do have some things that are coming up in the next few weeks. So look out for that. I have what I call the Life program that is going to be coming out, and it's going to be a 6-week program that is going to be available to those who are interested. So be on the lookout. I will definitely be posting about that. And it's, like I said, it's a 6-week session. I have a curriculum for it and everything. Not to mention, I still will be doing my videos on Thursdays. I have videos on YouTube as well under Lewana Michelle. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So you have various ways to connect with me and to follow. I always appreciate your support, because again, you don't have to sit here and watch, and you don't have to listen. So I am genuinely appreciative of everyone who has supported me over the years and all the way up until now. So I definitely appreciate that. Any questions while we're here? Any questions? If not, or if there are, you can go ahead and type them in the chat box. And if not, you can always go back later, type in some questions or send me some questions, and I'll try to get them answered. Also, if you have some topics that you would like to talk about or like to discuss, man, send those to me too. I'm open to it, and we can definitely discuss it. Or if you would like to even do a live with me, I'm open to that as well. All right. So if there's no questions, I thank you again for watching me. I am Lewana Michelle, and I enlighten, encourage, and empower you to fulfill your fullest potential. And thank you again for watching. I genuinely love you all. Thank you. Have a great evening.